Can we just say it? Can we just say that this is the biggest problem with John Cena's WWE title run? I understand that we're all trying to be positive here and say, hey, good for old Johnny. He's having one more run as WWE Champion. This is one of the biggest storylines in 2025 because going into the year, we knew that John, the future WWE Hall of Famer, was going to be hitting the exits and saying, adios, I'm retiring at the end of the year. And he worked the Royal Rumble and he came up short. And he ultimately won the Elimination Chamber before, well, turning everyone on their heads and turning heel, aligning with The Rock, who, oh, by the way, just absolutely disappeared. And we had to deal with Travis Scott, and we had to endure a horrific WrestleMania 41 main event where he dethroned Cody Rhodes. I get we're supposed to be happy for John, and I am, don't get me wrong. I appreciate what John Cena has done for the wrestling business. I appreciate his entertainment and his sacrifice, his blood, his sweat, his tears, all the cliches that go along with it. But can we just say that his WWE title run hasn't been very good? Can we just admit that? Because not only am I going to say it, I'm going to point out a few reasons why John Cena's run as WWE Champion has sucked. It sucked. Okay, let's just be honest. John Cena is clearly washed. Okay, he's washed. He's out of his prime. There is a reason why he's walking away. And his heel turn, that's a completely different discussion. We'll have that discussion here in a minute. But here are a few issues with John Cena's WWE title run. He is no longer a top-tier performer. He was never known for his technical ability to begin with, but in 2025, he can only do simpler moves and works a much slow-moving heel tendency, just like that. WWE needs to hide his missteps and do more smoke and mirrors, I think, to fix things. Let's talk about his matches in general. They're overbooked. Think about it. Travis Scott helped John Cena cheat to beat Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 to win the title. R-Truth, his involvement led to Cena beating Randy Orton at Backlash before they fired him. And John Cena's matches since winning the WWE Undisputed WWE Championship, well, they've been overbooked. And no, it's not WWE twice. I understand. Now look, his final title reign could be mirrored with bad bookings because, let's be real, no one wants the lasting memory of John Cena's career as negative. Every John Cena match cannot have interference, yet this is the way that we're going about this. I understand there was no interference with his R-Truth match, but can you really even call that a match? I digress. Now, Cena and Travis Scott versus Cody Rhodes and Bad Bunny, that would have been over the top, and thankfully, it doesn't look like we're going down that direction because, obviously, Money in the Bank, he teamed with Logan Paul against Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, and John Cena's final WWE run could turn into the last days of the badly booked WCW. Here's the reality of the situation, y'all. John Cena is retiring for a reason. Okay, it's not out of him just wanting to give it up. If it was up to him, he would still be able to do it for the next 20 years. They all would. That's why they're pro wrestlers, right? Not everyone in their right mind would throw themselves at the concrete floor or a bunch of wooden 2x4s for a living. Pro wrestlers like to wrestle. It's fun. It's exciting. It's adrenaline filled. But at the end of the day, everyone has a shelf life, right? The Undertaker found that out. Steve Austin and his classical, you're a cog in the machine. You take a gear out, you put a new gear in, the machine keeps running. That's the pro wrestling industry. In fact, that's just life in general. Think about it. There was someone that was living in your house a year ago or 100 years ago, right? So just keep in mind in that. John Cena is one of the best to ever do it. He's one of the best overall characters to ever do it. He's one of the best wrestlers to ever do it. Maybe he didn't have the technical prowess that you may have appreciated, right? But John Cena, he entertained you, whether it was his initial rapper gimmick, whether it was the Chain Gang I was a member of, whether it was him pretending to be a U.S. Marine and a soldier for whatever reason he wore dog tags and he insisted on wearing camouflage, saluting the crowd, or the heavy, him wearing various colors like every 4 months. Yellow shirt, purple shirt, red shirt, green shirt, blue shirt. all of these iterations, John Cena has entertained you, right? At some point in your life, you probably were a John Cena fan, and I appreciate everything the man has had to do. But I also think that he and the company, and this is not just purely on John Cena, this is not a anti-John Cena rant, this is not a I don't like John Cena type of situation. I like John Cena. I still have a necklace of when he was U.S. champion, and in the middle of it, the medallion spun, okay? I'm a huge John Cena fan. I literally grew up on the man, okay? I was one of those kids who I barely remember the Attitude Era. My childhood was the Ruthless Aggression era up until about 2013, okay? That was my childhood. I grew up on John Cena. John Cena was the guy, okay? I memorably remember his feud with JBL. I loved those skits. I thought that was a great program, even though the WrestleMania match sucked. This is not anti-John Cena. This is reality-based John Cena discussion. Can we just have a conversation? Can we just have a discussion? John Cena in 2025 is washed. Case in point, okay? Go to Saturday night's main event. He's working with R-Truth. R-Truth is doing the moves that John Cena usually does. R-Truth is not only doing the same moves, but he's doing it better than John Cena. I feel like that's case in point of everything you need to know. When your own opponent is doing better moves than you, or doing better at the moves that you're doing and that you incorporated into your repertoire and done 1,000 times over the last 20 years, this is something, okay? I understand that WWE is trying to protect John Cena in these matches, but I also think you need a little bit more smoke and mirrors outside the constant interference. You going in to the Randy Orton match at Backlash, it was not going to be a good match, but what you were doing was you were hoping that the crowd reaction would be enough to boost the matchup. And I feel like it did. It wasn't the greatest match, but we'll God note that. But the crowd reaction boosted it up. The R-Truth match, very short. So what can we take away from these 2 points of view? You really can't get around WrestleMania 41 and how you let matches suck. Right? It did. It sucked. But if you take the Randy Orton match, if you take the R-Truth match, what can you take out of it? Well, the Randy Orton match, don't have it go as long. Don't have it as plotting, and try to keep the crowd in the match. Don't have any dead points, okay? With the R-Truth match, it showed us, hey, John Cena doesn't need to be going 20, 25 minutes these days. Let's keep it to around 10. Now, R-Truth, obviously that match went way shorter, but I don't want every John Cena match to be a swash, okay? So let's keep it to, a tight 10 to 13 minute in-ring match, right? You can have the entrances that go 7.5 minutes long if you really want to kill some time, because, well, that's what happened to WWE these days with their premium live events. You could literally go and, make a meal in between Roman Reigns coming out into the bell ringing, right? It's ridiculous. But, hey, that's what they do for a song and a steak. Those are the 2 takeaways that I take away from John Cena's retirement tour these days.